Chapter 41 5th Rank Formation Master. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Half an hour later, these people still didn't make any noise after entering Strongest Sect, which they had hoped to crush in one go, couldn't even enter the mountain gate. This was a great shame. Now he didn't know how many eyes were staring at him. If he couldn't destroy Strongest Sect as soon as possible, his reputation would be damaged. Generals, do you have any way to break this formation? Yang Ling Ho glanced at his generals with his tiger eyes, hoping that they could come up with a way to break the formation. Yang Ling Ho also thought about going to break the formation himself, but he had no research on formations, and was afraid that if he went in and got trapped, it would be a loss. However, he didn't think about it. He himself might not be able to break the formation, so how could his generals break it? My lord, this formation is weird. So many people went in and there was no movement. Sending more people would be useless. We are not proficient in breaking formations. It's better to ask someone who is proficient in formations to break the formation. At this time, the deputy general clasped his fists and said, Yang Linghao thought that if he couldn't break the formation, he would go find someone who could. So he ordered people to set up camp and invite a master of formation to help break the formation. In just half a day, an old man who was proficient in formation was invited. This old man was called Wu Zhini, a second-grade formation master, and Yang Linghao spent a lot of money to invite him. Formation masters are the same as alchemists. The first grade is the lowest and the ninth grade is the highest. There are only a handful of people who can become formation masters in the entire empire, and there are even fewer people who are called formation masters. Wu Zhini walked to the front of the defensive formation, watched for more than an hour, and tried a few times, but in the end, he died in vain. He said to Yang Linghao, this formation is unheard of. The level is probably above the 6th grade. I am afraid that I can't break it with my ability. What is afraid? That is certain. He is just a small 2nd grade formation master. It is very difficult to break a 3rd grade formation, let alone a formation above the 6th grade. Is there really no way? Yang Linghao asked unwillingly. With my ability, I can't break this formation, but you can ask Master who may be able to break it. Wu Zhini shook his head and said. Master who? Yang Ling Ho didn't remember who it was for a while, but suddenly, a flash of inspiration came to him, and he said excitedly, could it be the 4th grade formation master in the royal capital? Wu Zhini nodded and said, Marquis, it's him. However, you are wrong about one thing. He is not the 4th grade now, but the 5th grade. A while ago, he suddenly realized and broke through to the 5th grade. 5th grade, even Yang Ling Ho was shocked. The 5th grade formation master is a figure that even the king has to respect. I am afraid that I may not be able to invite him, but I have to try. After all, Wu Zhini took the money, but the matter was not done. He felt a little guilty, but the money could not be returned. So he continued, Marquis, you can tell Master Hu that there is at least a 6th grade formation here, and he will definitely come. Why is that? Yang Ling Ho asked puzzled. It is very difficult to break through the formation, and the 6th grade formation is even rarer. In order to break through to a higher level, he will definitely come here. Yang Ling Ho was overjoyed when he heard this, and rewarded Wu Zhini with some money. So, he sent a pigeon to the capital to ask his friends in the capital to invite Master Hu. Originally, Master Hu refused. What kind of advanced formation can a small sect have? Even if he was paid more, he would not go. However, when he heard that this formation was at least 6th grade, he immediately became interested and agreed to break the formation. Knowing that Master Hu was on his way, Yang Ling Ho laughed and said proudly, as long as Master Hu comes, this formation will be broken. And then I will bloodbath Qingfeng Sect. Bloody Qingfeng Sect, the soldiers shouted loudly, murderous. My lord is wise, Qingfeng Sect will be defeated. The generals flattered loudly. Yang Linghao besieged Qingfeng Sect and was trapped by a suspected 6th grade defense formation. He was asking a 5th grade formation master to come and break the formation. This news soon spread to the ears of major forces. Qingfeng Sect, a small sect, actually had a 6th grade defense formation, which surprised all the forces, even though they didn't have this defense formation. It was really fucked up. They all cursed in their hearts that Qin sect was really lucky to get a 6th grade defense formation. No wonder they dared to provoke Yanglingao. It turned out that they had this backing in their hands. Yanglinghao's army couldn't break the defense formation, so they just surrounded Qinfeng Mountain and didn't let a bird in. According to Yanglingao, even if they couldn't break the formation, they would keep besieging it. He didn't believe that the food in Qinfeng Mountain would be enough for a few days. Everything that happened outside could not escape Qin Ye's eyes, but with the immortal level sect formation, even if the formation masters of the whole kingdom were called, they couldn't break it. Now they just have to wait for Old Man Wu's cultivation to recover, and that will be the day when Yanglingao will be beheaded. In fact, with Qin Ye's current strength, it would not be difficult to kill Yanglingao with the immortal level weapon Jinwu sword, but as the leader of a sect, he should not take action if possible. Anyway, he has thugs under his command, and he will never get up if he can lie down. He looked at Old Man Wu. He thought that Old Man Wu must have taken the pill by now. I don't know how long it will take for him to recover. That pill was opened from the blind box before. There are still many of them, and they are now stored in the system. Host, Qin Ye, Identity, Master of Qinfeng Sect, Constitution, Flying Immortal Body, Cultivation, Grandmaster Level 1, Kung Fu, 8-9 Mysterious Skills, Ice Emperor Secret, Immortal Level, Weapon, Jinwu Sword, Immortal Level Ultimate, Disciple, Wan Chen, Mission. Lead the Qinfeng sect to rise and become the strongest sect in the world. Qin Ye retrieved his personal information and was very satisfied with his progress. It has only been a few days, and he has broken through to the Grandmaster level. This was something he would never have dared to think about before. The system reminds the host not to be proud. The True Immortal Continent is not as simple as the host thinks. The Grandmaster is just the beginning. I hope the host will not be lazy. The system was afraid that Qin Ye would be lazy, so it immediately reminded him. Qin Ye did not refute. He was now in the small city of Qingzhou. It was definitely not that simple outside, but he was not in a hurry now. He would wait until he dominated the great Qin dynasty and then go and see. If he couldn't even dominate the great Qin dynasty, it would be useless to think too much. The next morning, Master Hu brought 2 disciples to the Yanglingao military camp. Master Hu soon met Yanglingao. Yanglingao did not dare to neglect him and said, Master Hu can rest for half a day and break the formation in the afternoon. Master Hu shook his head and said, no need, I will break the formation now. Okay. Yanglingao did not force it. He naturally hoped to break the formation as soon as possible. Master Hu watched the formation for more than 2 hours, then sat cross-legged again, and did not open his eyes until the next morning. Yanglingao came to wait early in the morning. When he saw Master Hu getting up, he hurriedly asked, Master Hu, how is it? Can you break the formation? Strange, really strange, how can there be such a strange formation? I have never heard of it, and there is no record of it in ancient books. Master Hu seemed not to hear Yanglinghao's question, but kept talking to himself there. Chapter 42 Illusion Array. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Master Hu thought that he knew at least 100 or 200 formations, but he could not find any flaws in the formation in front of him. Even the most powerful formations cannot be flawless. Master Hu grabbed his hair and was about to go crazy. How could there be such a perfect formation in the world? When Yanglingao saw Master Hu like this, he knew that Master Hu probably had no way to break the formation. This made Yanglingao furious. Where did the small sect Qinfeng sect get the advanced formations from? Even a formation master like Master Hu could not get started. The most powerful formation master of the great Qin dynasty was here, and even he could not break it. How could a small Qinfeng sect be so difficult to destroy? So Yanglingao could only surround it without attacking. The Qinfeng city lord and the people of the Wan family who entered the back mountain of Qinfeng sect were always worried that Yanglingao would attack, but when they saw that Yanglingao could not even break the Qinfeng sect's defense formation, they immediately felt relieved. Especially the people of the Wan family were a little confused. Originally, after the sect ranking competition, the reputation of the Wan family rose to the top. and it became the leader of the 4 major families in Feng City. When the Wan family was united and ready to revitalize the family, the lord of Feng City came to him in a hurry and told him that the situation was urgent and he should withdraw the clan members to Feng Sect first. After he asked, he was told that the second son of Yangling Marquis was killed, and the murderer was Feng Sect. The army of Yangling Marquis was coming soon, and it would be too late if they didn't leave. Fortunately, the Wan family left quickly. Yangling Marquis arrived in Feng City and went to capture the Wan family members as soon as possible. After working for a long time, he only captured a few minions who didn't have time to leave. These unlucky guys were naturally chopped directly by Yangling Marquis. They saw that Yangling Marquis army could not break through the sect's defense formation, so they felt relieved. I don't know what Sect Master Qin is thinking. Why did he kill the second son? Now that we have offended Marquis Yangling, how can we get out? That's right. Everyone knows that Marquis Yangling has 300,000 troops. How can we fight him? Don't even mention us. I'm afraid even Feng Sect is not his opponent. You have seen that Xiantian realm is only qualified to be a personal guard. If we are attacked, we will definitely die without a burial place. He let alone attack. Now they are surrounding us without attacking, we will soon starve to death. The people brought by the Wan family and the city lord's mansion are in turmoil. Although they are safe for the time being, this is not a long-term solution. These hundreds of people need to eat, and they came in a hurry at the beginning and did not bring much food, so they can't hold on for long. The head of the Wan family and the lord of Feng City noticed that people's hearts were in turmoil. Nothing can happen at this time, so they hurried to appease the clan members. After being comforted, the two came together, and the head of the Wan family said worriedly, "City Lord, what do you think is the chance of victory for this Qin Zongzhu?" Now that the Wan family has been tied to the Feng Sect, the head of the Wan family is naturally concerned about whether this war can be won. The Feng City Lord laughed and comforted, "Don't worry, Wan family master, the strength of Qin Zongzhu may exceed our imagination. There are many armies outside, but Qin Zongzhu has never appeared. I think he doesn't take them seriously. We just wait with peace of mind." That's true. The head of the Wan family nodded. Now that the two are tied to the Feng Sect, the Feng City Lord no longer hides the news he knows, and said with a smile, "If I'm not wrong, there must be a master behind the Feng Sect, so the head of the Wan family can rest assured. Once this master appears, even Yangling Ho will retreat." "Master, hiss." The head of the Wan family took a breath. The innate masters have already dominated Feng City. Even in the entire Qin dynasty, this master is a top-notch master. On the surface, there are no more than 10 masters in the entire Qin dynasty, but that is for ordinary people. Those who really know the inside story know that there are definitely more than 10 masters in the Qin dynasty. Are you sure? The head of the Wan family took a deep breath and asked in a deep voice, "If the Feng Sect really has a master, then this crisis will be resolved soon, and the Wan family will also be prosperous, and perhaps there will be a chance to enter those big cities in Qinzhou." After all, Feng City is a small city with limited resources. No matter how the family develops here, it will not produce an innate realm. 9 out of 10 things. The Feng City Lord said with a smile. Good. The head of the Wan family said 3 good things in a row. It seems that this crisis will be resolved soon. After studying the formation for a long time, Master Hu still had no idea. He asked his apprentice to find Yangling Ho and said to him, "This formation cannot be broken from the outside. We need to go in to find a way to break it." "Master Hu, what do you need me to do?" Yangling Ho asked. "Your Majesty, can you find a rope and send some people to tie these ropes to me and these people? If we don't come out after 2 hours, you can pull the rope to pull us out." "Good idea. Why didn't I think of it before?" Yangling Ho said excitedly. "Master Hu, wait a moment, I will arrange it now." After a while, Yangling Ho found ropes and arranged more than 100 soldiers, including 10 in the Xiantian realm. This time, Yangling Ho spent a lot of money. He was confident that he would soon know what the formation was. The people he sent in twice before did not make any noise. The unknown was the most frightening. Master Hu and his team tied ropes around their waists and walked in one by one. When they walked in, the scene suddenly changed and they came to a blood-red valley. Countless skeletons crawled out of the valley. These skeletons only showed two pale eyes and held a sharp sword in their hands. Moreover, these skeletons all had the aura of the innate realm and walked towards them with murderous intent. So many skeletons, what kind of place is this? Everyone's face changed. What kind of place is this? How can there be so many skeletons? The more than 100 soldiers brought by Master Hu were all panicked. They had never seen such a terrifying thing, even Master Hu was a little surprised. He looked at these skeletons and thought to himself, is this a ghost domain? Impossible. Qin sect cannot be a ghost domain. Suddenly, he realized something and shouted, no. This is an illusion. A Xiantian general asked, Master Hu, what is an illusion? Master Hu explained, an illusion is also a kind of formation. Everything we see here is fake, all illusions. The Xiantian generals were relieved when they heard it was an illusion, and said, fortunately it is an illusion, otherwise it would be difficult to escape with so many powerful skeletons. Everyone was relieved. At this moment, a scream suddenly sounded. They looked in the direction of the scream and took a breath. They saw a soldier being killed by a skeleton, then soldiers were killed one after another. They looked at Master Hu with puzzled expressions. Isn't this an illusion? But these soldiers really died in front of them. This Master Hu was also a little confused. It should be said that it was an illusion. Everything he saw was fake, but those soldiers just now were really dead. Seeing that Master Hu couldn't explain it, they stopped asking and shouted, kill. Kill these skeletons so that we can live. The skeletons and soldiers started fighting. The sounds of fighting and screaming mixed together. What frightened them was that these skeletons were strong. Although they were all dead, their strength was comparable to that of the strong men in the Xiantian realm. These soldiers were also ordinary physical warriors, so how could they be the opponents of these skeletons? In just a cup of tea, all the more than 100 soldiers brought were killed in the battle. Even the Xiantian realm who came in were no exception. Master Hu looked at these skeletons emitting the aura of the Xiantian realm surrounding him, but they didn't kill him. He was a little confused. What kind of formation was this? Why was it so real? Why didn't these skeletons kill him? Chapter 43, Playing by the Rules. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This old guy is so old, and he is only of the 5th rank. Should we keep him? However, this old guy is unlucky. How can this immortal level formation be compared with those secular formations? The illusions here are real illusions, but death is also real death. Everything that happened in the formation naturally could not escape Qin Ye's eyes. Master Hu said it was an illusion formation, and it was really an illusion formation. The only difference between this illusion formation and other illusion formations is that other illusion formations attack the heart. As long as you keep your heart, everything is false and you can easily get out of the illusion formation, but this illusion formation is a real killing formation, and everything in it is also illusory. For example, these skeletons are all illusory spiritual power in the formation, but their attacks are real. If you are cut by them, you will feel pain and die, so let alone Yangling Ho. Even if all the troops of the Qin dynasty come in, as many as come will die. Although this old guy is only a 5th grade formation master at an old age, there is not even a formation master in Qin sect now. This is not good. Let's keep this old guy first. In the end, Qin Ye decided to keep the old guy alive. The others were not so lucky. Although they tried their best, they were still no match for the attacks of so many powerful skeletons and were soon killed. Only Master Hu was left. These skeletons did not attack Master Hu again and retreated one after another. The scene changed. When Master Hu opened his eyes again, he had arrived in a hall and saw the young man sitting in the hall. The young man had sword eyebrows and star eyes, looking at him with a sharp gaze. Could it be that you are the leader of Qin sect? Master Hu was also someone he had met before. When he saw this scene, he instantly knew that he was in Qin sect. You are not stupid. Qin Ye smiled. You won't kill me? Master Hu asked with a strange look. You have some attainments in formation. It just so happens that I am short of a formation elder here. Qin Ye said truthfully, hearing that Qin Ye would not kill him. Master Hu was relieved. As a 5th grade formation master, he has his own pride. There are countless people who want to win him over to join the sect, but he did not agree. However, he was also afraid of death, especially after just seeing the power of the Qin sect's formation. He wanted to study this formation very much. He could feel that this formation was definitely beyond his knowledge. However, Master Hu did not rush to agree. After all, agreeing too quickly would be a bit cheap. At least he should show some sincerity, and then he should give in again. If you invite him again, he will join the Qin sect. Master Qin, you may not know that I am used to freedom and will not join any sect. Really? Then kill him. Qin Ye said lightly. Master Hu stared at Qin Ye in amazement. What's wrong with you, little guy? Why don't you play by the rules? I am a 5th grade formation master, the only 5th grade formation master in the great Qin kingdom. Even the king of Qin is respectful to me. You, little guy, failed to invite him and killed him. It's too cruel. Young people nowadays really have no patience at all. Master Hu believes that he has seen all kinds of people. There are all kinds of people. Let's talk about cruel people. Take the Yangling Marquis outside for example. He came down from the battlefield. Isn't he cruel? He can do such a wicked thing as massacring a city, but he is not respectful to me. Qin Ye looked at Master Hu's stunned look and wanted to laugh. He still wanted to pretend to be noble in front of him. Qin sect lacked formation masters, but formations were a side door after all, and there were very few people practicing them, so Qin Ye was not in a hurry. He kept him just to prepare for the future. Maybe one day there will be a disciple with a talent for formations. But it is not necessary. As he said, if you don't join, then kill him. No, I'm just thinking about it. Master Hu said hurriedly, fearing that Qin Ye would really kill him. Have you thought about it? Qin Ye looked at him with a smile on his face. However, Qin Ye's smile looked like a devil's smile in Master Hu's eyes, and he couldn't help but shudder and nodded. I've thought about it, I'm willing to join. That it's not that he was cowardly, but that Qin Ye was too cruel, so he had to go against his will. So, Qin Ye established the formation hall, and first appointed Master Hu as the formation elder to preside over the formation hall on his behalf, and then appointed him as the master of the formation hall when there was a suitable person in the future. Outside Qinfeng Mountain, when Master Hu and his group entered, the rope broke inexplicably immediately, and Yangling Ho could only watch the formation, hoping that Master Hu and his group could really find a way to break the formation. However, after more than 2 hours, there was still no movement. Even if Yangling Ho didn't want to believe it, he knew that they were dead. Even Master Hu was trapped in the Qinfeng sect's formation. Even if Yangling Ho wanted to conceal such important news, he couldn't. Now he didn't know how many eyes were staring at it. They could only sigh that the Qinfeng sect was really an anomaly. Yangling Ho had no way to deal with the Qinfeng sect, so he ordered the soldiers to scold it from morning to night every day, and wrote to the king of Qin, reporting the situation here, saying that the Qinfeng sect was a hidden pawn of another country, and asked the dynasty to send strong men to destroy it. He also knew that with his current strength, he could only besiege it and couldn't attack it at all, so he hoped that the great Qin dynasty could send experts to assist him. Qin Ye was too lazy to pay attention to the verbal battle of the Yanglinghao army, but Wan Qin couldn't control his temper and wanted to go to fight, but was pushed back by Qin Ye. In Qin Ye's view, cursing is a sign of incompetence. If you really have the strength, come and fight me. Using these provocations is of no use to him. The next day, outside Qinfeng Mountain, the cursing continued. What shameless person, son of a bitch, wretched leader, greetings to all the women in your ancestors, etc. All the bad words can be used. No matter how bad the curses are, there is still no ripple. It seems that everyone in Qinfeng sect is deaf. In Qinfeng sect, a shocking momentum rose to the sky, followed by a loud laugh. However, this shocking momentum just rose to the sky, as if it was wiped out by a pair of big hands, coming and going quickly. Master's aura, ah. Is this Old Man Wu? The 10th Elder Yuan Ming heard the voice of Old Man Wu from the laughter. He thought that Old Man Wu was in the innate realm like him, but from the momentum he just burst out, it was clearly the aura of a master, and it was not an ordinary master's aura, even the aura of the leader could not match it. Who is this Old Man Wu? How could the great Qin dynasty have such a powerful master? That the 10th Elder thought hard, but couldn't figure out who this master was. Although Xuesha only operated in Qingzhou, he knew the information of the masters in the great Qin dynasty very well. Generally, Xuesha would not dare to provoke the forces with masters easily. Alas! This Qingfeng sect is getting more and more difficult to see through. Then, the 10th Elder smiled bitterly. It seemed that Xuesha was in trouble. Even if their leader Xuesha came in person, he could not take advantage. What should he do? Is he really going to sweep the floor here for the rest of his life? Thinking of the other two, he was full of anger. These two kids are now trying to please Qin Ye, and they are even worse than licking dogs. Xuesha's face was completely humiliated by them. Even if I die, Yuan Ming will never join Qingfeng sect. Sweeping the floor now is just a temporary measure. As long as there is a chance, I will escape. Even if Qingfeng sect has a master, what can I do? After returning to Xuesha, the worst that can happen is that I will not provoke Qingfeng sect anymore. Isn't being the 10th Elder of Xuesha better than being a chores? Everyone knows how to choose. These two bastards, thinking of those two people, one is the steward of Xuesha, and the other is the helmsman of Xuesha, who betrayed Xuesha so easily, he wanted to beat them to death. Chapter 44 Old Man Wu. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Qingfeng sect, main hall. Old Man Wu has completely cured himself of the poison and immediately came to pay his respects to Qin Ye to thank him. If it weren't for the sect master, I would still be suffering. I am willing to do my best for the Qingfeng sect. This is a deal between you and me. How much of your cultivation has recovered now? Qin Ye asked. 80%. If I am given a few more days, I can recover completely. Old Man Wu said confidently. That's enough to deal with Yangling Ho. Go ahead. You've been cursing at the door all day and everyone is laughing at you. Although Qin Ye didn't care much about the cursing, he was still a little unhappy to be blocked at the door and cursed. He was just too lazy to do anything. Since Old Man Wu has recovered, this matter should be resolved. Yes, Sect Master. Qin Ye waved his hand, and a jade token was delivered to Old Man Wu, saying, with this jade token, you can come and go freely in the formation. Thank you, Sect Master. Old Man Wu reached out and took the jade token, then retreated. The 10th Elder who was sweeping the floor in the inner courtyard watched the high-spirited Old Man Wu pass by, with a face full of envy, wondering when he could recover his cultivation. Arriving at the door, Old Man Wu used his mind to control the jade token and walked out of the formation smoothly. As soon as he left the formation, he was surrounded by hundreds of soldiers, and a soldier shouted, "Someone is coming out. Catch him." A captain ordered loudly. Old Man Wu did not speak, and an extremely powerful pressure burst out from his body, instantly shaking away all the soldiers who besieged him. Who is it? The captain shouted fiercely. However, Old Man Wu did not speak, but just walked forward step by step. Not good. Stop him. The frightened soldiers besieged him again, and all of them were also shaken away, and none of them survived. Die. An old general with the 6th level of innate cultivation drove his horse over, flew up, and stabbed Old Man Wu with a spear in his hand. Old Man Wu glanced at him, slapped him with his palm, and slapped him away. Hiss. The soldiers were terrified. The Xiantian realm masters couldn't even take a single move from him. Old Man Wu walked towards the military camp step by step. The generals who came over saw that Old Man Wu was unfathomable. He killed all the Xiantian realm masters in seconds, so they immediately organized the army to stop him. Kill. Dozens of cavalrymen rushed towards Old Man Wu. Old Man Wu waved his hand, and a strong whirlwind suddenly appeared in front of him, instantly sweeping these dozens of cavalrymen into the air with their horses. When the whirlwind disappeared, blood and flesh scattered all over the ground. So strong, all the generals trembled in their hearts and were terrified. This was definitely not an ordinary master. Quick! Stop him! All the generals quickly organized soldiers to stop Old Man Wu. Seeing these soldiers rushing up fearlessly, Old Man Wu shook his head, rose into the air, stepped on the void, and walked towards the military camp. Stepping on the void, walking in the void, no good, this is a master, go and inform the Marquis. A general reacted, his face was horrified, and he immediately ordered his personal soldiers to inform Yangling Marquis, after breaking through to the master level, you can step on the void for a short time and walk in the void, and after breaking through to the great master level, you can fly through the air. A master, let alone dealing with his 10,000 troops, even if there are 100,000 troops here, they may not be able to stay, so sending more people is just sending them to death, so they did not make any more moves. The movement here had already alarmed Yangling Marquis. When he heard that a master came out from Qin sect, he immediately sneered, well, this behind-the-scenes force finally couldn't help but come out, I want to see who is against me. When Yangling Marquis led his generals out of the barracks, they saw Old Man Wu walking in the void. Soldiers kept shooting arrows at him, but the arrows fell to the ground before they reached him. It's really a master. Yangling Ho himself is at the master level, so he can tell at a glance whether the other party is a master or not. Old Man Wu also found Yangling Ho and walked towards him, but he saw that Old Man Wu walk down step by step, and no one dared to stop him. Who are you? Yangling Ho looked stern and asked in a cold voice. Are you Yangling Ho? Old Man Wu looked at Yangling Ho and asked. Yes. It's me. Who are you? Yangling Ho said. Qin Ye wants your head. Do you want to give it to me or do you want me to take it? Old Man Wu said in a calm tone, as if he was talking about something very ordinary, but this sentence caused a sensation among the crowd. Everyone was shocked. Although this old man was a master, he said that he wanted to take Yangling Ho's head as soon as he opened his mouth. This was too disrespectful to Yangling Ho and his army. Even Yangling Ho himself was extremely shocked. Afterwards, Yangling Ho was extremely angry, his eyes turned red. This master actually treated him like an ant, who is not a master. How dare you? You are looking for death. Qin Ye is just a... When the commander was insulted, a general immediately spoke out in anger. He wanted to say that Qin Ye was nothing, but before he finished speaking, the old man who had already made a move, pointed out a sword light from his fingers, and the general screamed and fell off his horse, with a blood hole on his forehead. So fast. His move stunned everyone. The general who spoke just now was not an unknown person. In fact, those who can become generals are at least in the innate realm, and the general just now was in the 8th level of the innate realm, but he had no power to fight back in the hands of the old man Wu. Qin Ye is still a little petty. He's going to die anyway, so I'll take care of him first. Old Man Wu looked at Yangling Ho and said everyone was extremely angry. So many generals died in the attack on Qin sect this time. It was their honor to die on the battlefield as a soldier. What really made them angry was that they rarely lost on the battlefield, but they were so powerless in front of the master, like pigs and sheep waiting to be slaughtered. He was killed directly just by cursing the Qin sect. The master was too domineering. All the soldiers stared at Old Man Wu angrily, but no one dared to curse him anymore. Yangling Ho's face was gloomy. Just now, Old Man Wu suddenly attacked, and he didn't react. People were killed in front of him. How could his generals look at him? Yangling Ho, who always wanted to save face, certainly couldn't stand it. If the other party was not a master, he would have ordered the other party to be torn into pieces. A master, let alone killing him, may not be able to stay even if he is joined by a 100,000-man army, so it is best not to offend a master. The reason why the king of Qin favored Yangling Marquis so much is because he is a master. If he is not a master, he would have been killed by his political enemies long ago. Your Excellency, as a master, why do you have to obey a Xiantian realm kid? If you are willing to join my great Qin, I can guarantee that you can be made a marquis and appointed as a prime minister. Although Yangling Marquis was very angry, he still restrained himself and did not choose to take action immediately. Chapter 45 Defeating the Grandmaster with One Hand. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. This is a deal between me and him. Since I agreed, I must fulfill it. Old Man Wu said lightly, and he was naturally referring to Qin Ye. What kind of deal? You can make a deal with our great Qin. If a small sect like Feng sect can get it, I, the great Qin, can do the same. Yanglinghao continued to win over. The deal has been reached. It's too late to say anything now. I'm not the kind of person to go back on my word. Besides, you can't give me what I want. Old Man Wu shook his head. If the Qin really had an antidote, he would have gone to the Qin royal family long ago and would not have waited so many years. So, Your Excellency must be against our great Qin. Yanglinghao's face suddenly darkened and he said in a gloomy voice. I only want your head. If you insist on saying that, I'm not afraid. Old Man Wu chuckled lightly. With his peak master strength, what would happen even if he offended the great Qin royal family? Not to mention that the great Qin royal family couldn't keep him, even if he had the strength to deal with him, he could become a supreme elder in any sect. Would the great Qin royal family dare to come? Marquis Yangling knew that the Grandmaster in front of him had to take action today, but he firmly believed that he had the ability to fight with him. Furthermore, what Old Man Wu said just now was too unscrupulous. Although most masters are not very fond of the great Qin royal family, he is definitely the first person who dares to be so unscrupulous and ignore the great Qin royal family. He believed that today's conversation would soon reach King Qin's ears. In that case, let's use force to determine the winner. Yanglinghao has been fighting for many years and has never been afraid of anyone. Even if the opponent is a master, he dares to fight. Immediately, a powerful aura erupted directly from Yanglinghao. This momentum was more violent and powerful than the momentum that had erupted from the previous generals. The generals around Yanglinghao were the first to be affected, and their expressions changed drastically. They immediately used their skills to resist the momentum, but were still knocked back several miles away. Grandmaster realm. The aura that Yanglinghao burst out revealed that he was at the Grandmaster level. Second level Grandmaster, not bad. It's a pity that he offended people he shouldn't have offended. Old Man Wu shook his head slightly as he sensed the realm of Marquis Yangling. From the bottom of his heart, he didn't want to kill Marquis Yangling. After all, Marquis Yangling was still very important to the Qin dynasty. A Grandmaster was very powerful and could intimidate foreign countries and suppress the sect internally. It's a pity that he offended Mr. Qin. Old Man Wu believed that even if he didn't kill Yanglinghao, Yanglinghao would not survive. Kill my son and humiliate my royal family. Even if you are a master, you will die. Now that the talks have collapsed, Marquis Yangling has no scruples and can only fight to the death. Boom! As soon as he finished speaking, Marquis Yangling took action, flying into the air, bursting with momentum, and slashed down with his sword. Chang! When the sword was slashed out, the color of the world seemed to change. Even though the sword was directed at Old Man Wu, the soldiers on the ground felt that they were in a violent storm and could die at any time. They were all covered in cold sweat. The soldiers quickly retreated. They could feel that if they did not retreat, they might die. This is a battle between masters and strong men, and no one knows whether the aftermath of the fierce battle will affect them. This sword is pretty good, but it still lacks a bit of heat. Old Man Wu nodded and commented. Marquis Yangling was so angry that he would not hold back, and used all his strength to strike down this sword. However, Old Man Wu always kept a smile on his face and did not show any signs of panic. He directly stretched out his hand to stop Yanglinghao's sword. Arrogant. Marquis Yangling was furious. He knew very well how powerful his full blow was. The opponent now only used his bare hands to intercept, and simply ignored him. Boom! When the sword fell, Old Man Wu's hand was unharmed, but Marquis Yangling's full blow did not even scratch Old Man Wu's skin. Hiss! All the soldiers who had been watching the battle took a breath. They knew very well how powerful Yanglingao was. Now Yanglinghao's full blow failed to hurt the opponent at all. This is enough to show that the opponent's master is very powerful. Marquis Yangling's expression changed drastically. He looked at Old Man Wu solemnly, and asked, "Aren't you a junior grandmaster?" That he was confident that if the opponent was a junior grandmaster, he would never have received that blow so easily. The only truth is that the opponent was not a junior grandmaster. Did I say that I was a junior grandmaster? Old Man Wu looked at Marquis Yangling in front of him, with a mocking smile on his lips. Impossible. You are so powerful, why do you want to take orders from a Xiantian realm boy? Yanglingao asked without giving up. Maybe he wanted to know what the deal between Old Man Wu and Qin Ye was. You don't need to know this. Before he finished speaking, Old Man Wu disappeared on the spot. When he reappeared, he was already in front of Yanglingao and struck Yanglingao in the chest with his palm. Bang! This palm hit Yanglinghao's chest, instantly sending Yanglingao flying 10 feet away and hitting the ground heavily, and a mouthful of blood spurted out. Marquis Yangling struggled to get up, his eyes filled with disbelief. He didn't expect that this Old Man Wu could be so arrogant. He was at the second level of a grandmaster, but he didn't even take one of the opponent's moves. You are pretty good among junior grandmasters. It's a pity that you met me. Old Man Wu shook his head and said, as he spoke, he thrust out his right hand and turned his claws to grab Marquis Yangling. The power of this claw is enough to destroy a city. Yanglingao quickly raised his arms to resist the blow, but he couldn't stop it at all. His arms were torn apart instantly and were bloody. You lose. Old Man Wu said with an indifferent expression. Yanglingao struggled to get up and looked at the Old Man Wu in front of him. Ah! I don't accept it. Why did you, a powerful master, obey Qin Ye's orders? If it weren't for you, I would definitely kill Qin Ye's son and avenge my son, Yanglingao said bitterly. Even I'm not completely sure, and it's even less possible for you. Old Man Wu shook his head and laughed. When he saw Qin Ye just now, he wanted to explore Qin Ye's strength, but his spiritual thoughts fell into the sea and were swallowed up instantly. He was also warned, thinking of the scene at that time, he still has heart palpitations. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. He's so young, it's impossible, Yanglingao Zhuangru shouted wildly. Okay, it's time for me to complete my mission. As he said that, Old Man Wu was about to kill Yanglingao on the spot. Yanglinghao's expression changed drastically, but he was seriously injured and had no power to fight back, so he could only wait to die. Your Excellency, please wait. At this moment, an old and deep voice suddenly sounded in the field. Immediately afterwards, a Grand Master's aura that was far superior to Yanglinghao's aura rushed towards him, overwhelming the battlefield. It is obvious that the owner of this voice is also a strong master, and he is not weaker than Yanglingao. Who are you? Old Man Wu looked into the distance because he knew that the other party was not here. Yangling Marquis has been fighting for the country for many years and has made great achievements. Qingzhou still needs him to guard it. If he dies, the barbarians in the north are likely to invade the border again. Then all life will be devastated, and the people of Qingzhou will suffer. The old voice did not say who he was, but gave the reason why Marquis Yangling could not die yet. Chapter 46 Qingyun Sect Feng Qingyun. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The Qingzhou border was populated by barbarians, and the barbarians had low productivity and were not as good as the Qin dynasty, so they often invaded the Qingzhou border. They did not occupy the land, but robbed food and people and left after they had finished. The Qin dynasty hated the barbarians so much that it launched several wars but failed to completely eliminate them, so it later sent Marquis Yangling to guard Qingzhou. With Yanglingao guarding Qingzhou, the number of border invasions by barbarians has decreased year by year. Except for large-scale invasions when there are natural disasters, they basically do not invade each other at other times. If Qingzhou loses the guard of Yangling Marquis, once the barbarians get the news, they are likely to invade Qingzhou. After hearing this, Old Man Wu hesitated for a moment, then shook his head and said, even if I let him go, he won't survive. The head of my family is a person who doesn't like trouble. Since he killed his son, he has revenge. He cannot live without Qinfeng Mountain. After spending so long with Qin Ye, Old Man Wu still has some understanding of Qin Ye's character. Even though Qin Ye was doing nothing all day long, either fishing or sleeping, he was actually not very minded. His enemies had already come to his doorstep, but now he was willing to detoxify himself in order to solve the problem. From Old Man Wu's point of view, Qin Ye must have discovered something strange about his body when he first came to him, and he already had a way to detoxify him, but he was just unwilling to help him detoxify. The voice was silent for a long time, and then it sounded again. He can't die yet. I want to talk to the leader. It's just that this voice is very close now, and everyone looks in the direction of this voice. They saw an old man standing more than 100 meters away. The old man was wearing a white robe, which looked ordinary, but gave people an extremely profound feeling. Old Man Wu stared at the old man for a long time, chuckled, and said, "Who do you think I am?" It turns out to be Feng Qingyun, the previous head of the Qingyun sect. Qingyun sect is one of the most powerful sects in Qinzhou and has a good relationship with the Qin dynasty. Many of its disciples serve in the Qin dynasty. Since the Qingyun sect is in Qinzhou, most of its disciples are stationed in the Qinzhou garrison. Several of the generals leading the army this time are disciples of the Qingyun sect, but unfortunately more than half of them died. Feng Qingyun was the previous head of the Qingyun sect. After he retired, he became the supreme elder of the Qingyun sect. Later, he disappeared and never appeared again. There was news that he had passed away because his cultivation went crazy. No one knows whether the news is true or false, and it has never appeared since. I never thought that I would show up today to save Yang Lingho. Feng Qingyun was a little surprised to see that Old Man Wu could tell his name after just a few glances at him. He had no impression of Old Man Wu at all and believed that he would never have met him. There are only about a dozen powerful masters in the great Qin dynasty. If you meet him, you will never forget it, and this Old Man Wu is obviously not one of those 10. Have you seen me? Feng Qingyun asked with an unexpected look. I haven't seen it before, but there are not many people in Qinzhou who can achieve this level of cultivation. Old Man Wu said. Feng Qingyun nodded. His identity was indeed easy to guess. As a powerful master, Your Excellency should know how important Yangling Marquis is to Qinzhou. Let's leave the matter for today. How about that? Feng Qingyun was still trying to protect Marquis Yangling's life, and he didn't know whether it was for the sake of the people of Qinzhou or because he had a personal relationship with Marquis Yangling. Feng Qingyun did not use force to save people, because he knew that Old Man Wu was very powerful, stronger than himself, and he would not get any advantage if he took action, so he kept using righteousness to suppress Feng Qingyun. Old Man Wu hesitated, but at this moment, a voice came from the air. Marquis Yangling led an army to invade the Qingfeng sect. The crime is unpardonable. The army can spare his life, but Marquis Yangling's life must be kept here. This voice came from a young man, but there was no doubt about it. Feng Qingyun knew that the person who spoke was Qin Ye, the leader of the Qingfeng sect, and said, Your Excellency must be the leader of Qin. Although the leader of Qin, Yangling Marquis is guilty, the king of Qin will deal with him. If the leader of Qin shows mercy, I, the Qingyun sect, will give it to him. Qingfeng sect will pay compensation and remember sect master Qin's kindness. The answer was a huge sword energy slashing down from the sky. This sword energy was extremely fast and powerful, and it came straight towards Marquis Yangling like a beast. Everyone was stunned. The Qingyun sect is one of the most powerful sects in Qinzhou. The majestic previous sect leader and powerful master personally begged for mercy, but the Qingfeng sect didn't even appreciate it. Is this Qingfeng sect crazy? Or it's because the Qingfeng sect is really strong enough to despise the Qingyun sect, or it was because Qin Ye had expanded and thought that his strength was far superior to that of the Qingyun sect. In that case, don't blame me. Feng Qingyun said lightly, then slowly raised his right hand. A majestic momentum suddenly rose, and then a huge fist met the sword's edge. Since sect master Qin doesn't listen to persuasion, he will show his strength. He was a little worried about the Old Man Wu, but he didn't care about Qin Ye at all. No matter how talented he is, he cannot be his opponent. Bang! This sword easily chopped Feng Qingyun's spiritual fist into pieces, and the sword energy arrived in front of Marquis Yangling in an instant. Marquis Yangling's expression changed drastically. This sword was directly going to kill him. He sensed a death crisis from this sword. He was about to escape, but he was a step too slow after all, and the sword energy directly split Yang Linghao's body in two. Wow, that the army was panicked. Yang Linghao died just like that. Where should they go? This was not a place for them to stay. Besides, the other party just said that they would only kill Yang Linghao, so the remaining generals immediately organized the army to retreat. Your Excellency, as the leader of a sect, you don't consider the overall situation, but only care about personal grudges. Your actions are too cruel. After all, it is not the right way. Feng Qingyun's face was ashen, and his eyes were full of murderous intent. After he took action, Yang Linghao was killed, which made Feng Qingyun very angry. In Qinfeng sect, Qin Ye touched his chin. The sudden appearance of Feng Qingyun was indeed beyond Qin Ye's expectations. He used the system to check Feng Qingyun's strength and found that he was a third-level Grandmaster. Although Qin Ye was only a first-level Grandmaster, it was not difficult for him to kill Feng Qingyun. It's just that Feng Qingyun always puts a big hat on others, which makes Qin Ye a little disgusted. Even Qin Ye is a little unsure of what he is thinking. Is he really a saint who cares about the lives of the people in Qingzhou, or is he related to Yang Linghao, or is he sent by the Qin dynasty to suppress the situation? Qin Ye thought about it and thought that the last idea was the most reliable. It is very likely that he was sent by the Qin royal family. If Yang Linghao destroyed Qinfeng sect, he would not have to show up. If Yang Linghao was defeated, he would save Yang Linghao. After all, there are not many masters even in the Qin royal family. No matter what the other party thinks, Yang Linghao will die. After seeing that old man Wu hesitated, Qin Ye acted decisively. Chapter 47 Bloody Killing of the Leader. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Qin Ye ignored Feng Qingyun's plea and killed Yang Linghao with one sword. This has surprised everyone. What is even more surprising is that Feng Qingyun tried to intercept but still could not save Yangling Marquis. What does this mean? This shows that the strength of the leader of Qinfeng sect has been underestimated. He is definitely at the master level. As old man Wu said before, even if he was willing to be merciful, Marquis Yangling still wouldn't survive. The spies who followed used various means to spread the news back as soon as possible. Qinfeng sect has two strong masters, and Feng Qingyun, the previous leader of Qingyun sect, has come out. No matter which news, it can cause a huge storm. In a barren land in Qingzhou, three powerful masters actually appeared. If you include the dead Marquis Yangling, there would be four. It's so crazy. Even if there are no four powerful masters in the royal capital, it can be seen that if this news spreads, everyone will definitely go crazy. Am I on the right track? It's not up to you to judge. Our Qinfeng sect is stationed in Qingzhou. If there is a barbarian invasion, I will take off the head of the barbarian king, so you don't need to worry about it. Qin Ye fought back very domineeringly. Being rebuffed by Qin Ye, Feng Qingyun became even more angry. This junior has some strength but is so rampant. Is the barbarian king so easy to kill? Not only is the barbarian king himself a powerful master, but he also has several grandmasters who are very powerful. If he really wants to kill the barbarian king, he will probably have to dispatch at least 7 or 8 grandmasters to surround him. Even so, it is only 50% to 60% of certainty. Junior is ignorant. If you kill Marquis Yangling today, the Qin dynasty will definitely send a large army to encircle and suppress you. Even if you hide in the sect and cannot come out, the people of Qinfeng city will be affected by you. Feng Qingyun snorted coldly and said. Qin Ye sneered. This old guy actually threatened himself with the Qin dynasty and the people of Qinfeng city. He really thought that he was a holy mother, and immediately responded, the people of Qinfeng city are the people of the Qin dynasty. If the king of Qin vents his anger on his own people, that's the fate of the Qin dynasty. What does it have to do with me? Feng Qingyun became angry because he didn't expect Qin Ye to be so good at talking. As Qin Ye said, if the king of Qin vents his anger on the people of Qingfeng City, it will only destroy the Great Wall. As long as the king of Qin is not stupid, he will not do such a thing. Okay. Who doesn't know how to talk nonsense? Just let me test your skills. Unable to fight with words, Feng Qingyun had no choice but to take action. It was just Qin Ye's next words that made Feng Qingyun vomit blood in anger. You come in first and then talk. Very good. Do you think that with the sex formation, you can be foolproof? Let's see how I can break your sex formation. Feng Qingyun's eyes burst into flames and he said angrily. Boom! Before he finished speaking, Feng Qingyun had already taken action. He stood in the air and punched the sex formation fiercely. Feng Qingyun's punch was filled with anger, and he used all his strength. It was extremely terrifying. This punch seemed to shatter the space. Once the strength of the third level of Grandmaster breaks out, it is indeed very terrifying, and it is much stronger than the strength of Yangling Marquis. Everyone was watching to see if Feng Qingyun could break the sect formation of Qingfeng Sect. Marquis Yangling had tried to break it once before, but to no avail. This punch was so fast that it actually caused a fist cry. At this moment, everyone nearby who had not retreated felt the extremely powerful fist in tension. However, this punch hit the defensive formation, causing only a ripple, and calm was quickly restored. Feng Qingyun's face changed slightly. He punched with all his strength without any reservation, but failed to cause any damage to the sex formation. He had to admit that this sex formation was indeed very terrifying. No wonder even the 5th level formation master couldn't break it. Feng Qingyun's expression changed continuously, and finally he snorted coldly, "You can take care of yourself." He came here originally to rescue Yangling Marquis, but before he could save him, his old face was completely lost here. Knowing that he would not get any benefits if he stayed here any longer, he stopped staying and turned around to leave quickly. The matter was settled. Old Man Wu turned around and returned to Qingfeng Sect. Qin Ye asked him to come back with Yanglinghao's head, but Yanglingao had been split in half by Qin Ye's sword, and Old Man Wu stopped taking his head, except for a few spies. Most people did not dare to stay any longer and left one after another. Following this, news of this battle spread outside at an extremely terrifying speed. Blood-killing headquarters. After the leader of the blood-killing received the news, he immediately summoned the elders and said, "The 10 elders went to Qingfeng Sect to perform a mission some time ago, but now it seems that they will not be able to come back." All the elders were also shocked. No wonder they couldn't contact the 10th elder. It turned out that something had happened. They didn't know that Qingfeng Sect, a small and unpopular sect, would have 2 powerful masters. It was so insidious. They were glad that it was not them who went there before, otherwise they would be the ones who perished. Even Yang Lingho, who was in the Master Realm, fell to the Qingfeng Sect, which shows how terrifying this Qingfeng Sect is. The leader of Blood Kill issued an order. Qingfeng City secretly sent people to station to inquire and collect all information about Qingfeng Sect. Remember, this station will not accept any tasks and do not conflict with any forces. The leader is wise. The elders flattered him. The Qingfeng Sect has 2 masters, and they already need to be paid close attention to. In addition, the leader of the Qingfeng Sect was assassinated before, so they need to pay more attention at this time. No one knows whether Qingfeng Sect will come to kill him. The leader of Blood Kill suddenly thought of something again, and then said, "From now on, the Blood Kill headquarters will be moved. We can't stay here anymore." He couldn't guarantee whether the 10 elders had already explained everything about the blood killing. After all, he knew the terror of the powerful master. If the 10 elders fell into the hands of the opponent, if he wanted to know something from the 10 elders, he only needed to do a little trick. Just a little trick. "Chief, now that Marquis Yangling is dead, without Marquis Yangling in Qingzhou, there will be no force that can stop us. Should we take the opportunity to expand our force?" Some elders suggested that this time is indeed very suitable to expand our force. After all, everyone he was in danger and could no longer stop the bloodshed. The leader of Blood Kill thought about the pros and cons. As the elder said, this time is very suitable for expanding his power. However, he always felt that the crisis seemed to be approaching. It was better to be calm at this time, so he rejected the elder's suggestion. This old guy Feng Qingyun has also come out. I know that this old guy will not die so easily. However, this old guy Feng Qingyun has no profit and can't afford it early. He has been cheating his death for so many years, and he will jump for the sake of Yangling Marquis. Come out, it seems that the Qin dynasty has promised a lot of benefits behind this. The blood-killing leader thought of another piece of news in the intelligence, and couldn't help but look in the direction of Qingyun sect. Qingyun sect is a 7th-grade sect with strong strength and a very close relationship with the Qin dynasty. Although they have not officially joined the Qin dynasty, many of their disciples have entered the Qin dynasty's army, which can't help but make people think wildly. You must know that generally, no matter how small a sect is, they will never allow their disciples to participate in secular officialdom. Firstly, it is not necessary, and it will cause people to misunderstand that seeking refuge in the imperial court will cause them to be isolated from other sects. Secondly, once this is done, the sect's strength will be greatly reduced. If a sect is damaged, in addition to high-end combat power, a sect must also have mid- to low-end combat power. It is impossible to send elders to solve it at all times. Once you enter a sect, you will be a member of the sect for life. This is true for all sects in the world, therefore, there must be something fishy here, but if it is said that the Qingyun sect has defected to the Qin dynasty, the leader of the bloody murder will not be believed. The strength of the Qingyun sect is here. Even if the overall strength is not as good as the Great Qin dynasty, there is no need to join the Great Qin dynasty. This will not be of any benefit to them. Therefore, after thinking about it, the leader of the blood killing must be some kind of deal between the Qingyun sect and the Great Qin dynasty. Chapter 48 Qingyun Sect. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The death of Marquis Yangling at the hands of Qin Ye, the leader of the Qinfeng sect, spread throughout Qingzhou in just one day. All the forces in Qingzhou were shocked and sent people to investigate the details of the Qinfeng sect in detail. Qingyun sect, one of the 7-level sects in Qingzhou, can be said to be one of the strongest forces in Qingzhou. Feng Qingyun, who appeared to save people in the Qinfeng sect before, was the previous generation leader of the Qingyun sect and now serves as the supreme elder of the Qingyun sect. The current sect leader of Qingyun sect is Mutong, who is at the master level and one of the 10 great masters of the Qin dynasty. He is famous far and wide. His talent is much higher than that of the previous generation leader Feng Qingyun. He has broken through the master level before he was 25 years old, which shocked the Qin dynasty. It is said that when Feng Qingyun first met Mutong, he praised Mutong for his talent which was rare in a century, so he brought Mutong to teach him personally, and soon became the young master of the Qingyun sect. He became the acting master at the age of 22. At the age of 25, he broke through to the master level and officially took over the position of master. The most talked about thing about Mutong is that when he was 24 years old, he went to the barbarian lands to kill the then barbarian commander Manja. Manja was the 8th son of the previous barbarian king and the uncle of the current barbarian king. At that time, Manja was violent, especially towards the people of the Qin dynasty. It was said that he liked to eat human flesh raw. Not only the Qin dynasty hated him, but also the barbarians. There are also many people inside who are very dissatisfied with him. That year, Manja sent his army to invade the border and broke into 2 cities. He not only looted the entire city and took away the young and strong men and women, but also killed all the old and young in the city. When Mutong heard about this, he went to Manto himself and stayed there for more than a month before he found an opportunity to kill Manja. You must know that Manja had already broken through to the Grandmaster realm and was protected by a Grandmaster. Even the barbarian king was extremely afraid of him. Mutong, on the other hand, was only in the 9th level of Xiantian realm back then. There was such a huge gap in strength, but he still succeeded in assassinating him. Perhaps it was because of that assassination that he broke through to the Grandmaster shortly after returning. Mutong became famous in that battle. He was able to defeat the Grandmaster at the 9th level of Xiantian. After breaking through to Grandmaster, I am afraid that even the veteran Grandmaster would not be his opponent. Qingyun sect has developed rapidly in recent years under the leadership of Mutong, and has more than 10,000 disciples. It has considerable influence both within the sect and in the Qin dynasty. 3 bells rang in the Qingyun sect today. This was the sect leader summoning the elders to discuss matters. Qingyun sect is divided into inner courtyard and outer courtyard. There are 6 elders in the inner courtyard and 12 elders in the outer courtyard. The status of the elders of the outer deen is lower than that of the elders of the inner deen, and they are not qualified to enter the inner hall to discuss matters, unless they are authorized by the sect master. When the 6 elders from the inner courtyard came in, they saw that the sect leader was already sitting at the top. Mutong was already in his 40s, but he looked more like 30 years old. He was still graceful and majestic. Not only that, his face was even more handsome, and his movements were full of elegance and wisdom. Before the elders came in, they had already guessed among themselves outside. This time the sect leader summoned everyone to discuss the matter might have something to do with the Feng sect. Such a big event happened in Qinzhou. As one of the strongest forces in Qinzhou, they naturally got the news immediately. After the elders bowed to Mutong, they sat down separately. Sect Master, do you want to talk about Feng sect? The second elder stood up and spoke first. Mutong nodded and said, "That's right." The elders discussed how we should treat the Feng sect. The elders immediately started discussing enthusiastically. The information says that the Feng sect has 2 masters. Their strength is not weaker than that of the 7th grade sect. I think it is better to have a good relationship with the Feng sect. The Feng sect's sudden rise may have some ulterior motives behind it. I'm most afraid that the Feng sect will have support from outside the region. This elder believes that external forces are unlikely. The Qin dynasty is just a small kingdom in a corner, and Qinzhou is even more barren and has no good plans. We have never met one of the 2 grandmasters of the Feng sect, but according to intelligence, he told the origin of the Taishang elder's name. He must be an old master, but we don't know it. The other one, it is Qin Ye, the leader of the Feng sect. According to the information that came back, this Qin Ye was not even in the Xiantian realm before, and his talent was not as good as that of our handyman in the outer courtyard. Now he suddenly became a Grand Master. This is something I can't figure out. Third Elder, this is not impossible. I have read in ancient books that if there is a powerful master who passes on his lifelong cultivation to him, it is possible to break through to become a master. Mutong listened to the heated discussion among the elders and saw that the more they discussed, the more biased they became. The most talked about was the origin of the Grandmaster and how Qin Ye broke through the Grandmaster. He coughed, and the hall suddenly became quiet. He glanced at the 6 elders and said slowly, "Where are they from and how did they break through to the Master Realm? This can be investigated later. What we are focusing on now is how to get along with the Feng sect." Originally, having a 7th grade sect force in Qinzhou was not necessarily a disadvantage for Qinzhou, but you also know that Qinzhou is the weakest among the 8 states of the Qin dynasty. Now the Feng sect has enmity with the Qin dynasty, and my sect is too powerful. The elder is also involved, which makes it very difficult for me to handle. After speaking, Mutong sighed. The elders looked at each other and they all knew what the sect leader meant. Since becoming the sect leader, he has devoted himself to developing the sect, maintaining good relations with all the forces, and playing both sides. This has allowed the Qingyun sect to develop rapidly in his hands. Originally, the Feng sect was rising. As long as the Qingyun sect didn't mess with me, I would be on good terms with you. If you mess with me, I would take over. However, the Grand Elder went to rescue people, which obviously made him grudge against the Feng sect, which made Mutong very difficult to deal with. After all, Feng Qingyun was his master and the Grand Elder of the Qingyun sect. Master, why did the Grand Elder suddenly appear in the Feng sect? Why did he go to rescue Yangling Ho? The question was asked by the 6th elder, a fat old man. The other elders also stared at the master, and it was obvious that they didn't know the reason. Mutong was silent for a while, and then said, "Well, you will know it eventually." After a pause, he continued, "There is a deal involved here." Deal? What deal? The elders were confused. The Qingyun sect had a deal with the great Qin dynasty. As the 6 elders in the sect, how could they not know? You may also know that there is an old ancestor in my sect who has been in seclusion. The elders nodded. As the elders who hold real power in the sect, they all know that the real core secret of Qingyun sect is that there is another old ancestor who is still alive and in seclusion. It's just that he hasn't appeared for a long time, and no one knows whether he is alive or dead. You may not know that this old ancestor has been stuck at the half-step Grandmaster for many years and has never been able to break through. If he didn't break through again, he would have died in a few years. I don't know how this news was known to the great Qin dynasty. They came to my door and made a deal with my master. The content of the deal is that the great Qin dynasty will help my ancestor break through to the Grandmaster, and Qingyun sect needs to guard Qingzhou forever to ensure that Qingzhou is not in chaos. At the same time, let my master personally teach the children of the great Qin royal family, so he has not been in the sect for these years. Mutong said slowly, but what he said shocked the elders. Chapter 49 Sect Planning. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The elders were shocked by what the sect master said. Qingyun sect has been close to the great Qin dynasty for many years, and has been criticized by other sects for many years. Many people privately speculated that there was a deal between Qingyun sect and the great Qin dynasty. They also speculated privately, and today they finally learned the truth from the sect master. Of course, this is not what shocked them. What really shocked them was that their ancestor, whose life and death were unknown, was actually a half-step Grandmaster. This really scared them. There is no Grandmaster in the great Qin dynasty now. If there is a half-step Grandmaster sitting in charge, then Qingyun sect will take off directly. The elders were very excited. As for the deal with the great Qin dynasty, in their opinion, it was nothing. If a Grandmaster could really be produced, all this would be worth it. Now what they are most concerned about is whether the ancestor has successfully broken through. If he really breaks through to the Grandmaster, then Qingyun sect will directly jump to the top sect of the great Qin dynasty, and it may even be promoted to the 6th grade sect. Sect Master, the ancestor. All the elders looked at Mutong eagerly. Mutong knew what they wanted to say, and chuckled. The ancestor is still in seclusion in the forbidden area. You also know that this step is not so easy to take, but you don't have to worry. I have been to the forbidden area to see the ancestor. The ancestor's breakthrough will only take 1 or 2 years. Good, good, good. The elders all laughed. Qingyun sect will soon have a Grandmaster in charge. By then, Qingyun sect will be the strongest force in the entire Qingzhou area. When the elders stopped laughing, Mutong said, Qingfeng sect suddenly rose and fell out with the great Qin dynasty. The great Qin dynasty may want us to take action, but in this situation, it is better not to make trouble. You must restrain the disciples outside and don't make enemies with Qingfeng sect. I will find a way to delay the great Qin dynasty. That's no problem. Qingfeng sect is located in Qingfeng mountain, which is too remote. My disciples generally don't go there. The 3rd elder pondered for a while and said aloud. Then the supreme elder. The 6th elder suddenly said. Mutong was silent for a while, and said, he will definitely come back to Qingzhou this time. I will talk to him in detail. For the sake of the sect, I believe he will put aside his personal grudges. A day later, Feng Qingyun really returned to Qingyun sect. As for what the two talked about, outsiders don't know. They only know that Feng Qingyun has stayed in Qingyun sect since then. Ding, congratulations to the host. Wanchen comprehended the high-level heavenly martial arts 10,000 swords returned to the sect, and the host comprehended 10,000 swords returned to the sect at the same time. After the war, most of the people outside left, and only some spies of the forces stayed. These people were like mice hiding in the dark, and basically there was no threat, and Qin Ye did not send anyone to deal with them, so, let Wanchen go to the martial arts building to see what martial arts he could comprehend for the first time. What Qin Ye didn't expect was that Wanchen, who had a good talent, did not comprehend the fairy-level martial arts, but the heaven-level high-level martial arts. Although it was also a very powerful martial arts, it was obviously not as good as the fairy-level martial arts that Wu Xian'er comprehended. This made Qin Ye suspect that Wu Xian'er was also the reincarnation of some great power, but he used the system to investigate and found that Wu Xian'er was not the reincarnation of a great power, and her talent was average. In the end, Qin Ye could only understand that some people were born with good luck, which others could not ask for, just like some people were born into royal families, while some people were born into farming families. These 2 days, Qin Ye was not idle, but planned the Qingfeng sect. Generally speaking, it is no different from other sects, divided into inner and outer sections. The inner sect disciple is now only Wan Chen. There are only 2 inner sect elders, Old Man Wu and Wu Xian'er. After that battle, Qin Ye made him the inner sect elder, usually teaching Wan Chen to practice, and Wu Xian'er was only responsible for practice, and did not need to take care of other things. Gui Hai Yi Dao became an outer sect elder, and Yuan Ming was also ordered by Qin Ye to be an outer sect elder, that is, the 10th elder of Shueisha. After seeing Qin Ye's power, he was so scared that he went to see Qin Ye that night and expressed his desire to start a new life and to contribute to the construction of Qingfeng sect. Qin Ye saw that he was crying and his expression was sincere, so he agreed and said that he could give him this opportunity and let him become an outer sect elder. Of course, there were no disciples in the outer sect for the time being. The structure of Qingfeng sect was quickly built: sect master, Qin Ye, inner sect elders, Wu Xian'er, Old Man Wu, outer sect elders, Yuan Ming, Gui Hai Yi Dao, outer sect deacons, Qiuzhentian, Lu Jing, inner sect disciples, Wan Chen, outer sect disciples, none. Qiuzhentian was the deacon who came with Yuan Ming. He was lucky not to be killed. He surrendered to Qin Ye first and later went to help in the kitchen. Although he is now an outer sect deacon, there is no disciple in the outer sect, so he is still a kitchen helper in the kitchen. Lu Jing, the blood-killing leader, had never surrendered before and was sent to be a servant. After working for such a long time, he figured it out and surrendered to Qin Ye. Similarly, because there were no disciples in the outer sect, he was idle, so he continued to sweep the floor. Oh no, thinking about life, there were only 8 people in the entire Qingfeng sect. For a sect, the number of people was too small. However, Qin Ye was not in a hurry. He had only been in this world for a few days, and now there were already a few more people. He had plenty of time. However, the system obviously would not let Qin Ye be idle all the time. Ding! Congratulations to the host on taking a step forward on the road of sect development. How can a sect develop without outer disciples? Please recruit 100 outer disciples within 7 days. Choice 1, accept the task, reward the host with 5 blind boxes. Choice 2, reject the task, cultivation drops to the innate realm. Qin Ye, the system now releases the task, giving Qin Ye 2 humane choices. You can choose to accept or reject, and the rejection is not like other systems that will take your life at every turn, but will only give some punishment. As long as you are not brain cramped, you know how to choose. Qin Ye chose to accept the task without hesitation. Qin Ye looked at the task and immediately thought about it. The system did not require qualifications for these 100 outer disciples, so it seemed that it was not difficult to recruit. However, for future development, there must be some requirements, and you can't recruit blindly. It shouldn't be too difficult to complete it within 7 days, since that battle, who in the entire Qin dynasty didn't know Qingfeng sect? There are so many people in Qingfeng city, and it is not difficult to recruit 100 people here. As for offending the great Qin dynasty and not being able to recruit people, there is no need to worry about it. Qingfeng city is remote, and there are many people who are not afraid of death. In addition, there are 2 masters in the Qingfeng sect, which makes it very attractive. Immediately, Qin Ye summoned Yuan Ming and Gui Hai Yi Dao to the main hall and said to them, "My Qingfeng sect is now on the right track, but the number of people is too small. I want to recruit 100 outer disciples, so I will leave it to you." "Master, do you have any requirements for recruiting disciples?" Yuan Ming asked happily. He was naturally excited. Although he is only an outer elder now, he believes that he will soon become an inner elder. Compared with the outer sect, the inner elder is the core of a sect, and he joined the Qingfeng sect so quickly. In addition to Qin Ye showing the strength of a master, what he wants most is to enter the Gongfa building. although he did not enter the Kung Fu building, he was sure that the Kung Fu in the building was not an ordinary Kung Fu, but was absolutely earth-shattering. So he had to work hard and let the sect master see his role, so that he would have a chance to enter the Kung Fu building. Chapter 50 Recruiting Outer Disciples. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Qin Ye has no special rules about the Gongfa building. Only Wan Chen and Wu Xianer have been there. Even if others want to go in, they can't. Of course, this is intentional by Qin Ye. These people were recruited by Qin Ye, and their loyalty to the sect is not that high, so they have been suppressed. If they contribute enough to the development of the sect, Qin Ye will not restrict them anymore. After all, Qin Ye is not such a stingy person. He can't do the thing of wanting others to squeeze milk out of cows without giving them grass to eat. The first batch of outer disciples can recruit 100 people within 7 days. The location is Qinfeng Mountain. I will set up a few tests at that time. Just pass the test. In addition, there is still plenty of time this time. You can also go to other cities near Qinfeng City to promote it and strive to get more people, so that you can recruit outer disciples with good qualifications. As for the age, it is stipulated that it is under 18 years old. You can come with or without cultivation. Qin Ye said slowly. It is obvious that Qin Ye is no longer satisfied with Qinfeng City. Who says it's not true? In a small Qinfeng City, there are 5 or 6 small sects here. Those with some qualifications have been plundered. It must be necessary to cast a wide net, and maybe 1 or 2 big fish can be caught. In addition, you can recruit some errand boys and cooks, and the money will come from the outer sect. With more people, they need to eat, so Qin Ye plans to build a canteen. As for the disciples, they must pay for their meals. It is impossible to get them for free. Yes, Sect Master. Yuan Ming agreed and said, "Don't worry, Sect Master, I will definitely do this beautifully." This is the first time he works for Qinfeng Sect, and he must put in 12 points of energy to complete this matter, so that the Sect Master will look at him differently. Does the Sect Master have any other instructions? The Lord of Qinfeng City and the Zhou family are still in the back mountain. You go and settle their people at the foot of the mountain. They can't return to Qinfeng City for the time being. At this point, Qin Ye suddenly asked, "How is Qinfeng City now?" The army of Yang Lingho has returned to Qingzhou, but there are many strangers in Qinfeng City, probably spies from various forces. Qinfeng City is now ownerless, but no one dares to make trouble in Qinfeng City. Yuan Ming replied. Let the Lord of Qinfeng City go back to preside over the affairs of Qinfeng City. I think no one dares to embarrass him for the time being. Qin Ye thought for a while and said, Qinfeng City submitted to Qin Ye, but he did not announce it directly in public because he did not want to make the people of Qinfeng City suffer. If he announced that Qinfeng City submitted to Qinfeng Sect, they could not break Qinfeng Sect, and they might take it out on the people of Qinfeng City, so it didn't matter whether to announce it or not. It was better to stay calm and wait until the strength was sufficient before announcing it. After all, they had just made enemies with the Great Qin dynasty, and who knew whether the Great Qin dynasty would send troops to attack. After briefly explaining a few things, Qin Ye asked them to go out and handle the matter of recruiting outer disciples as soon as possible. The two left the hall and went to the back mountain to find the Lord of Qinfeng City. The Lord of Qinfeng City had been with the head of Zhou family for the past 2 days. When the Lord of Qinfeng City heard that Qinfeng Sect was going to recruit outer disciples, he immediately patted his chest and said that he would do his best to help. The head of Zhou family said that he would also help, but he was thinking that he would let the young descendants of the family try, maybe someone would succeed. Although his son Wan Chen has now broken through to the innate realm. After all, the development of the family will not rely on only one person. Now that Qinfeng Sect is so powerful, only by relying on Qinfeng Sect can the Wan family prosper. After a discussion, the Lord of Qinfeng City and the head of Zhou family promoted the matter of recruiting outer disciples in Qinfeng City, and as for the nearby cities, they would go there. In less than half a day, the news that Qinfeng Sect was going to recruit outer disciples spread throughout Qinfeng City, and several nearby cities also got the news soon. Knowing that it was Feng's sect that was going to recruit outer disciples, the local forces in these cities did not dare to stop it, and some even said they could help secretly. Great, Feng's sect is finally recruiting people, I want to go. I heard that Feng's sect has a master sitting in charge, if not now, when will I go? Aren't you afraid of King Qin's blame? Humph. What are you afraid of? This is Qinzhou, and it is not so easy for King Qin to deal with Feng's sect. That's right, Feng's sect will recruit disciples this time regardless of strength or qualifications. As long as they meet the conditions, they will be recruited. We can give it a try. Feng's sect became famous after a battle. Even if many people dare not come to Feng's sect, there will still be many people going to Feng Mountain. After all, if you want to stand out in this world, the fastest and most convenient way is to join a sect. Those big families are better, with skills and resources for the younger generations of the clan to practice, but many children from ordinary families have nothing. They either live a dull life or go to Feng's sect to make a fortune. Although there were not as many people as expected on the first day, there were still more than 100 people coming. On the second day, nearly 200 people came. On the third day, people from nearby cities came, and more than 300 people came. Due to the large number of people, they could not enter Feng's sect, so they could only live at the foot of Feng Mountain. As for how to live, they had to figure it out by themselves. The wealthy families would build simple houses, and the poor would just find a place to rest. On the fourth day, Yuan Ming gathered all the more than 600 people who came together and said to them, from now on, enter the defense formation. As long as you can pass the formation and reach the mountain gate, you will pass the first level. Someone immediately asked, I heard that even the masters dare not enter this formation. We have low cultivation. Will our lives be in danger if we enter? After all, the war had just happened. Everyone had heard about the Feng sect's defensive formation. Even if they hadn't heard of it, they would know it by asking around. They came to learn from the master, and they didn't want to lose their lives before entering the sect. This is human nature. Yuan Ming was not angry, and laughed. It's my fault that I didn't explain it clearly. Now this formation has no lethality. There is only a simple psychedelic formation set up by the sect master. If you don't come out in 2 hours, you will be automatically sent out by the formation, and you won't be in danger of your life. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. Okay. I'll be the first one. The young man who asked the question just now took the initiative to come out and was the first to enter the formation. Afterwards, many people walked in one after another. Seeing that they all walked in, the hesitant young man gritted his teeth and walked in. Afterwards, more people came one after another, and when they knew the rules, they took the initiative to walk into the formation. Just like that, 2 hours later, more than 700 people went in, but more than 500 were sent out, which shows that many people are indeed not qualified. The psychedelic array set up by Qin Ye is very simple and has no lethality. As long as the mind is slightly firm, one can get out. For example, if someone sees a beautiful woman, he is tempted by her beauty and pounces on her. Then he will naturally be completely lost in it and finally be sent out by the array. In addition to beautiful women, there are various temptations such as skills, treasures, gold and silver treasures. As long as the mind is not firm, one will be completely lost in it. Although only outer disciples are accepted, those with weak minds must not be accepted. Such people are most likely to betray the sect, and Qin Ye does not want to teach a few traitors in the future.